Come
What's
on,
going on? What's
people.
going on?
It's been Unc and Phew in the building, man. Appreciate y'all for coming in, locking in with us, man. A bit early today for the Sunday evening. You know what I mean? It's your host with the most big stepper, Big Baby J, and El Jefe. Unc, talk to the people. How you doing?
What's going on? Everybody's good. Everybody's good. Chilling, man. Chilling. Trying to enjoy my Sunday
Yes,
night now.
yes. And we're gonna do things a bit different today. We're gonna talk about our big topic on the back end. I think the audience is gonna love this. I might have to make a separate clip, a segment for this, but we got to start off talking about the big news today. Unc was a bit busier a bit earlier today, so I'm gonna kind of break it down to what happened during this. By the way, people, if you're watching on the replay or y'all watching us right now, smash the like button, man. Like the stream, best way to support what we're doing here. We appreciate y'all more than you know. It's all about liking, supporting, sharing. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We do this every Sunday, not only because we got love for the game, but we got love for y'all, the audience. We appreciate y'all, man. We appreciate y'all, and it's fun to talk to the OG about some ball, man. That's we be sending memes to each other, man.
Yeah,
We love basketball, bro. We love
100%.
ball, man. We love it. You know? And the two best words in sports, game seven. Unc,
Mm-hmm.
what happened was a massacre, bro. Look at the score.
I caught that on the way back from work, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I think they were in the second quarter, and difference was like 5 points. So I was like, okay,
Yes.
it's a good game. But then when on the way home, I checked it. I was like, what just happened? I don't know. I feel bad for the Nuggets, but I guess overall the better team won. So what are you gonna say?
Yeah. That's a fact, brother, because what happened really, if we just keep it a bean, for me who was watching the game, it was very close and competitive in the first half. Like you look at the score,
Hmm.
first quarter, 26-21. Okay, Denver's slightly leading. Second quarter, okay, 39-20. Okay, it's getting a little uneven, you know what I mean? But there's still a chance. Because going into halftime, I think OKC was up by maybe 2, 3 points. It
Hmm.
wasn't anything significant. But what happened? They just came crazy in the third. Threes, turnovers, layups. It was all downhill. And I'm gonna tell you who was the key. It won't show in the box score that much, but this guy on the Thunder, Mr. Alex Caruso, it says he had 11 points, 3 assists, but every point was big and major. It was changing, and they didn't show it on the box score, but the man had like 3 steals, and he was defending Jokic.
Hmm.
They had him defending Jokic. Keep in mind, Alex Caruso is like 6'7". Jokic is 7'1" or something crazy. But what he was doing was he was having fast hands and making Jokic make mistakes and really bothering being a pest.
Yeah.
So it won't show on the box score, but this guy Alex Caruso was huge. And then obviously SGA, our foul merchant,
Yeah.
bro was sending me memes. But I'll say this. He came in with a smooth 35, clutch points. You had Jalen Williams. This is a guy who disappeared in game 6. Gave you a smooth 24. Chet Holmgren and Hartenstein came in. Even this guy Carson Wallace came in. This was an overall team effort. And even if Jokic himself had 20 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. It wasn't enough. It was not enough. He was under siege. The man was struggling. It was overall a very tough, especially the first half. Okay, there was some chance. Second half, brother, it was ugly, bro. It was super ugly. Any final thoughts for Denver as they finish their season, or as Minnesota goes into? Sorry, OKC goes into Minnesota, bro. What are your thoughts, bro?
Well, for Denver, what is this third? They didn't win last year. Who won last year?
No,
It was
last year was
Boston.
the Celtics.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boston.
And the year
Mm.
before that, the year before that was
Year
Nuggets.
before that was Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
2 years removed. Mm.
So I don't know. I guess they have to stay healthy. Wasn't my boy Aaron Gordon hamstring issue or an injury or
Yes,
something like that? Because you could see.
he was actually they were saying he wouldn't play the game. He
Hmm.
was doubtful until last minute he pulled through, but he was injured. Michael Porter had a shoulder injury. Then he
Yeah,
had some ice in the last game. So Denver was hurt, bro.
yeah,
They were hurt,
yeah. They gotta
playing
stay
injured.
healthy. Look at that, 8 points for Aaron Gordon. Porter was six. Like Jamal Murray
Oh
isn't
yeah,
it no more. Like I know Jamal
yeah,
was a big star a few years back, but he seems to have fallen off and not consistent
yeah.
enough to be the main guy, which I guess Jokic
Mm.
is for the team, but
Right.
you need the supporting cast to step up, and I just don't think he is the guy anymore to be like
No.
that. That Robin to that Batman type thing, but. Um, so maybe they got to figure something out. Maybe do a trade. Like I don't know something.
They should. You know what? When I was watching the game, bro, I was thinking Michael Porter needs to go, bro.
Yeah.
If your third, maybe fourth option is giving you just 6 points with 23 minutes in a massive game, and Michael Porter had a horrible series, bro. I think Christian Braun actually had like it was
Hmm.
him and Jokic the entire series who were like
Hmm.
really putting in work. Russ as well. I think Russ should stay on the team because Russ gives them great energy.
Yeah.
But bro, Denver, this game was done in the third quarter, fam.
Yeah.
They were up like 23. I'm like, oh, it's over. And the body language, I just like Denver tapped out.
Yeah.
Remember last year when Denver played Minnesota? And I think it was like game 5 where they got blown the hell out. Like I think Ant snapped,
Yeah.
Carl Anthony Towns, everybody. It was a blowout. Same thing.
Yeah.
These guys got embarrassed in front of the Thunder fans. Credit to the Thunder, man. It looked like they grew up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Facing such a mature team. It's that next step in their elevation, bro. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah. Too bad they're gonna come up short against the Wolves, but it is what it
Oh, talking about the Wolves, man. The Wolves put a spanking,
is. Mm-hmm.
a super spanking versus Golden State. And these closeout games have been just beat up,
Yeah.
like smashing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not even close. The box score said 121 to 110, but if you watch the game, even the highlights, that was not the case.
Yeah.
This game was done in the third quarter where they exploded for 31 points. The guy we didn't really talk about much has been under the radar is this guy, Julius
Julius
Randle,
Randle. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
29, 8, and 5, balling. Ant, of course, balling. All them guys balling. And the Warriors dynasty. This is what they saying. They're saying the Warriors are done, fam. What do you
Yeah.
think, bro?
Nah, they're getting older, right? What was their prime a few
Yeah,
years back? Like,
yeah.
well, I say a few years, but it's been like 6, 7 years. So
It's been a
you know,
minute,
yeah.
y'all.
Like Steph can't continue. Like can't play the
No.
way he's like. Even though he's amazing, when you watch him play, he's off the ball. It's ridiculous. But you can tell that he's lost a little bit of a step.
Right.
But then he doesn't have like Jimmy. Like I like Jimmy. I think Jimmy's a good
Hmm.
player, but he's just inconsistent for me, which is
Yeah.
which is frustrating. But and then don't even get me started on Green. But um, they
Your
just
bestie.
maybe they just need a new younger team because all these guys
Yeah.
are old, so competing, but and you can't compete. You can't have 30 plus year old guys like in their late 30s competing against these young guys that are 20, 22, 23. Like
Oh, yeah.
forget it. It's too much on the body.
They looked physically tired, bro. Like when I
Mhm.
was watching the game, Jimmy tired. Draymond was getting destroyed in the paint by Julius Randle, and they were hunting them on
Mhm.
offensively. They put Gobert on Draymond, Randle, Walker Kessel. They were targeting Draymond because they knew he's gonna get tired. He's 35,
Yeah.
right? And guess what? Next year around this time, he's gonna be 36. Mr. Jimmy Butler will be 36.
Yeah.
Mr. Steph Curry will be 38. They will not be in the shape that they need to. The biggest star, I think, was Kuminga, and he balled out. But they're gonna have to pay him or he's gonna have to leave.
Yeah.
So salary cap wise, the Warriors, they're not this team no more, bro. They're not
Mm.
these guys no more, man.
No.
Not at all. It looks like it's over. You might have to blow it up because you're paying Steph a lot of money. You're gonna have to pay Jimmy a lot of money. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
So your biggest, most important players, you're gonna have to drop a bag on them, and they're in their late 30s. Like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah,
So yeah, it worked out for them. A decade ago, it was
right.
amazing because everybody was like, "Oh my God, Golden State was like phenomenal for what they did." But now they're paying the consequence of that. So
They are.
mm,
They
it's-
definitely are, man. And like you talked about, Minnesota, they didn't come here to play, man. The game was basically done in the second quarter, bro. Everybody and their mom knew it was over. They were cooked, bro. They were deep fried. They were like, yo, you know what I mean? It makes me
yeah,
think, man, are we having a changing of the guard? When I say a changing of the guard, I'm saying the older generation is not there no more.
mm-mm,
You have a team like the Indiana Pacers, led by Tyrese Halliburton, who put another belt to ass.
mm-hmm.
So there's belt to ass in almost every closeout game. Indiana won that thing 114 to 105. What did you think of that series, bro? What did you think? We
Like
were wrong. I was wrong, bro. I was so
hundred
wrong.
percent, we were 100% wrong. Like
Yeah,
there's
bro.
there's no ifs ands or buts about it. Like Cleveland, I think we both said Cleveland was going to take that series. Was it going to go seven? I didn't think it was going to go seven. I thought six, but like that's like ridiculous how they outplayed. They just outplayed Cleveland is what it is. And then nobody but Spider seemed to show up for Cleveland. So
That's a fact.
yeah.
You want to hear some crazy stat that I learned recently?
Mm.
Donovan Mitchell has never went past the second round of the playoffs. He's in on year 8 or year 9.
Mhm.
He's like Embiid. He's never went to a conference final.
Oh no, don't do that. Don't compare
Yeah,
him to Embiid.
I hate to say it, bro.
No, don't do that.
I
Come
have
on.
to do it. The facts are facts. He
When
is.
you look at it that, but he's not the same player as Embiid. Like Embiid,
Oh no.
that's another. Like, Embiid's another Draymond to me. It's just forget it.
Oh,
Don't talk to me about Embiid. But like
oh,
at least
oh.
like it took Mitchell a
Okay.
couple years, but to get him to the number one seed in the East. But like this guy just complains, misses games because he doesn't want to play, fakes injuries. Like I don't know. He's just I. People say Halliburton's overrated. For me, Embiid's overrated. And you can
Oh,
hate me all you want, but this guy is unbelievable overrated for me.
oh, get in the chat, y'all.
Mhm.
Is Embiid overrated or not? Let me say this, man. I'm gonna say this. I used to be an Embiid fan. I used to be until last season, or maybe the end of the season prior, right? When I saw that almost every chance Embiid had to play Denver and Jokic, he'd always have an injury.
Mhm.
He would always have something would come up that he would not play versus Jokic.
Yeah, they didn't want to get embarrassed. To saying,
That's, you see what I mean? And I started to peep that. I'm like, what's going on? This is weird. Every time you're gonna play Denver, you're injured.
yeah,
Okay. And then over time, I started to see him, especially last season. He was not a leader, bro.
no,
He was not a leader towards Philly. And you started to see that there was a guy who is on that team who's way younger than Embiid, who actually was a leader, and that's Tyrese Maxey. He was actually taking the mantle for that team,
Mhm.
which was supposed to be good, bro. Going into the season, they got Paul George. They were looking promising. When a 22, 23-year-old is more motivational and committed than your 30-year-old ass, lazy ass,
yeah,
I don't respect it, bro.
no,
I do not respect it, man. And that's when I started becoming an Embiid. I wouldn't say hater, but a critic because I'm like,
yeah,
brother, you're 7'2", great body, no Diddy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
No baby oil. Where's the baby oil? Here's the baby oil.
yeah,
You know what I mean? you have all them gifts from God in
Yeah.
the post, massive. You have a shot, but you are so soft, dog. I hate it. I hate it, bro.
No,
So now
imagine.
I agree with you actually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Imagine him playing against Prime Shaq. Come on,
Oh no.
come on. Like he would be injured after the first 5 minutes, and you would never see him play ever again.
Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact. We don't even if you can't face Jokic, and I'm not trying to disrespect Jokic.
Mm, mm,
Jokic is great. If you can't play against Jokic, who is the other big man in your generation, you cannot face the GOATs like Hakeem,
mm.
David Robinson.
No.
These are real men who are Patrick Ewing, brother. Like you to beat a man, you have to beat the man.
Mm.
Like, come on, dog. And by the way, shout out to Sleepy Euphoria in the chat. He's from Cameroon as well, so he's mad. So he don't like Embiid. He's we have a group chat. Best Cameroonian in the league is Pascal. That's hey, that's a great point. I'm
He's taking
telling you,
his. He's
Pacer,
already won a championship. Pascal's already won a championship,
he
right?
already has a ring. You
And
right,
then
he does have a ring.
yeah, and then now
Man.
he's helping the Pacers to the conference final. So, but the thing with
And yeah,
Embiid that really got me mad is instead of playing for
right.
Cameroon, like he played
He
for
went
the
to the
U.S.
States.
Like, come on,
Yeah.
bro. Like that's just I don't want to say a ring chaser, but that's like guaranteed gold
Yeah.
medal. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I lost a little bit of respect of for him. Like for me, like if I ever had a chance to play for my country, I wouldn't even think twice about it. But
That's what I'm saying,
yeah,
man. And you know what? Even with that, he could have because he lived in France for a while. He could have played for France.
hmm
And by the way, imagine him and Wemby. They would have cleaned the states. By the way,
yeah,
that's my theory. You know what I mean? And just for my boy Sleepy Euphoria, this is the best Cameroonian player in the league because here's what he does. He's unselfish, man.
yeah.
He's unselfish and he can score. And like we're talking about, by the way, Hefe, you got a fan over here, man.
Ah,
Yeah,
sleepy. Yeah. See, me
yeah.
and
I mean,
sleepy
shout out
man.
to
He knows what he's
Sleepy's
saying.
a
He knows what he's talking about.
yeah, man. He might be on your side when we get to his particular debate. So I'm going 2v1. I don't care. Let's go. But talking about Pascal, he gave him 21 points. Naismith 13, Miles Turner 10, Nimhard 18, Tyrese Halliburton. This is how it should look
yeah.
when you have a closeout game. You know what I mean? We're not talking about Aaron Gordon giving you 8. We're not talking about Michael Porter Jr. giving you 6. No, this is how your starting roster should look point wise, rebound wise, assist wise, and they completely destroyed the Cavs.
Yeah.
Absolute domination. And when we talk about domination, man, the team that they're going to face did another belt to ass. I guess we have a theme today
Yeah.
in game 6,
That's
119 to 8.
crazy.
Come on, bro.
No, that was like
Playoff game.
when you
What do
talk
you
about
think?
body language, like the Celtics
Mm-hmm.
just seemed like they didn't want to play. Like, come on. Like it was over in
Yes.
like the beginning of the second quarter, midway through the
Yes.
second. Like they just the life just like left them. So it's like in a closeout game like that, like I guess it wasn't a closeout game, but like an important must-win game, and that's how you
Yeah.
act as former champions, like defending champions. Come on, like I don't know. It
It
was it
was.
was as much as we don't like we don't like Boston. That's not the way I would like to see them go out. Like I would like to see them go out on a with a good fight, not just give up type of thing, because it loses, I guess, that little bit of celebration where they lost a hard fight, which
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But I don't know. It was just it was sad to see, but you know what? Good for New York, man. New York ball seems to be back, so that's good.
Yeah. My thing is, dog, is when you look at it, man, we had so many close games, fantastic games this playoffs, right?
Mhm.
And then for them to end the series to end so anticlimactic with embarrassing beatdowns, like
Yeah,
20 point, 30 point beatdown. And by the way, the New York game, let me make this clear. It was over in the second quarter, bro.
yeah,
In the second quarter, it was done. So on Friday night, the game started at 8. By like 9 p.m., it was over. It was done. And I'll give New York its credit before I go in on Boston. Amazing play from OG Anunoby. Amazing play from Josh Hart. Triple double. He's the third Nick to get a triple double in the postseason, which is crazy to think about the history of the Knicks. He's the third, only the third New York Knick to do
Mhm.
that. Carl Anthony Towns, I think he had his best playoff game. 21 points, 12 boards. He set the tone. Brunson, big body Brunson. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? 23. Bridges, a clinic completely, and not what did the Celtics do? Nothing.
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 Look at that. One
Nothing.
person in
I'm
20
gonna
points. That's nonsense.
nothing. No, and you're absolutely right, brother, when you said that they were not ready for it. And I'm gonna say something again. This bum, this bum needs to leave immediately. He was sick, he was hurt. I don't know what was going on, man. They're paying you way too much money on for you to lay down. He was horrible in the series, brother.
Yeah.
What did you see in Boston before we get to the major story with Boston, man? What did you see with them losing Tatum, man? What did you see from them, bro?
Like, well, obviously you saw nothing, right? It just seemed like they
Uh,
were deflated. And like, so maybe Tatum, as much as everybody clowns him and stuff, but maybe he is more of a leader than people think he is, right? Like,
yeah,
it could be. Maybe everybody's saying he's overrated, blah, 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 he's not the face. But for that Boston team, maybe he is their actual leader. I know there's a lot of like rumors between Tatum and Brown feuding and all this stuff, but you don't really see
mm,
that much on the court, um,
no,
right? So maybe it was just like, okay, well, we lost our leader. Now what? The Jalen Brown didn't pop up to be, the number one guy. Maybe he is a number two guy, even though he thinks he might be a number one. But I don't know.
nah,
It was disheartening for them, and maybe they just thought being down 3-2, maybe they couldn't come back. You know, because like
yeah,
Tatum gives them 20 plus points a game, and like if you only have one person doing that per team, you're not gonna win, and you're not gonna win any game. So you
yeah,
need everybody else to step up. Like you showed the Knicks stats, like four or five guys were in 20 plus numbers. Like that's how you win games, right? You spread the
yes.
ball around. Everybody gets a touch. So I don't know. It just sucks the way it is, and it's a horrible injury. Don't get me wrong.
Tough injury,
It's
man.
yeah. So hopefully he
That that
recovers fast.
that Achilles, man, it's gonna take a year, maybe a bit more. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
I remember what happened with KD when they were playing against the Raptors.
Yeah,
He needed a year and a
yeah,
little bit to get fully back there. But at that point, he was in Brooklyn, right?
hmm
So when you see what's happening with the Celtics, Jason Tatum was their leading scorer. I think he led the team in rebounds and even assists. So he was doing everything as an overall player. And he doesn't have that Kobe Mamba personality,
yeah.
obviously.
No,
He's soft, he's Charmin soft, he's an ugly alpha, he's weird, he's cringe. His interviews are awkward, but this man, he's a great basketball player. I'm
yeah,
not gonna hate.
hmm
When it comes to playing ball, he can hoop.
yeah,
And you could just tell when you're watching them. They did win game 5 in Boston. And I think Jalen Brown had an amazing game, but they didn't have the energy for game 6. That
no,
Madison Square Garden was going crazy. Tatum, you start to see his value once he's gone.
yeah,
There's rumors within Boston, circles that they might be starting to think about some trades because of some cap space things they have. Basically, Boston will not be the same next year.
mm,
And that makes you think, is that dynasty over? Is that era, of Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, is it done? Is it out? Is it finished? I would say no. I say they still have some potential, but they might not be the same team next year in terms of seeding. I don't even know if they're gonna go that far. This Tatum loss, I think, is bigger than a lot of us think, bro. I think
yeah,
it's gonna be big
yeah.
to
Totally
the
agree.
Celtics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Yeah,
But
man.
we'll see. We'll see in the
But
off season.
We will definitely see on the off season, and we'll see what happens in the future games, man. You know what I mean? When we can we even maybe give our predictions? Because right now, if we look at the bracket, right, we have two. We have an unexpected type of situation,
Mhm.
right? Because it's almost like a changing of the guard. You have the Timberwolves and the Thunder, young team with the Thunder, amazing record. T Wolves, second year going to the Western Conference Finals in a row. Huge, huge. We have our boy Ant, you know what I mean? And this one, we have one on the East that we didn't really expect. And the Knicks versus the Pacers. A lot of people expected the opposite, Cavs versus Boston.
Cavs versus
That's what
Boston.
everybody was saying,
Yep, 100%.
right? And then the plot twist happened. It's almost like a changing of the guard, man. None of the older players are there. It's all younger teams. It's all upstart teams. You know what
Yep.
I mean?
Hmm.
What do you think for each series, man? Let's give at least our points of view and why, man. Let's start off with the East, man. Who you got? Knicks versus Spacers, bro. Who you feeling?
That's a like honestly, that's a hard one because like the Pacers are playing amazing right now, but me and so are the Knicks. However, I'm gonna say I like the Pacers the way they play more.
Mm,
But you can never count out the Knicks, like especially back in like the '90s. I'm gonna
ooh.
go back to the '90s.
We're
Um,
going back to the
you know what I
90s.
mean?
Yup.
But like
Yeah.
they're a gritty team, and these guys play. And then I think the addition of Towns was phenomenal for them. I think
Yes.
that's what they needed, that little extra push, because everybody everybody clowns what's his name, Towns, but like he's a pretty decent player. Like you can't
Yes,
fault
he
him for that.
is.
But so
Yes, he
that's
is.
it was I don't want to say it was a bad move on the Wolves, but
Mm.
I don't know. I think the Pacers may take that series. I think it's gonna go 7 games, which I normally don't think.
There we go. I personally, I'm actually my mind is telling me Pacers because I have eyes. I see what I see. They play team basketball. They play fast basketball. And I learned recently, since the All Star break till now, they've actually won the most amount of games of any team. So they are on a hot streak, like the hottest streak possible. I think it's gonna go 7 games. I agree with you. My heart is telling me New York, so I'm gonna listen to my heart. I'm gonna listen to my heart. And when I say heart, I mean the Knicks have a lot of heart, bro. They came back from a lot of games that they should have lost. So I got the Knicks with the slight edge, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Pacers did it. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And then the Pacers have to make sure that they win it quick because if you give time to these big body Knicks, dog, they can surprise you. Let's see what Sleepy you guys say. Might be the best series so far. Can't wait. Yes, I agree with you. That series is gonna be the best one. Knicks versus Pacers. Let's go on the West Side, man. You know what I mean? All that West Side, Tupac. You know what I mean? Well, we got Timberwolves and Thunder. What's your thoughts, bro? By the way, people in the chat, let us know y'all thoughts as well.
Is it? Can you hear me? Because I have some mic issues.
Yeah, you're fine.
You're
You're
good.
good.
Okay. Um, yeah, I'm gonna stick with my boy Ant.
Oh,
As
okay.
much as the Thunder is a threat, but experience from Ant, I think he learned from last year. So hopefully that'll push them over the edge to get into the finals for the championship. So like I don't really want to say more than that because I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. But
Okay,
um,
okay.
I'm gonna stick with my boy Ant, and I predict the Wolves. This one is
Hey, I'm saying, bro, it's hard, bro. It's
yeah,
not easy.
it's gonna be a fun series, but I
It's
think
gonna be great, yeah.
the way they've played the other series, it's gonna be like blowout. I don't think it's gonna be a close game. Like I think the
Mm.
Pacers Knicks. I think the Pacers Knicks is gonna be more fun to watch
Oh yeah, oh yes.
overall. But so I hope it's not like blowout one game, blowout the other game. Like back and forth type of stuff. But um, yeah, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the Wolves.
Oh, that is a hot take because everybody and their mama got OKC winning this. I love Ant. Y'all know we fans of Ant over here, but I gotta go Thunder, man. I saw something in them today, man. I saw what they did to the Nuggets, and when they're hot, especially defensively, they'll get steals, blocks, all type of ish, man. Okay, yeah. I see that Sleepy is saying that Ant is his boy. He's agreeing with you, Hefe, with the bus. But OKC's too deep. Got him in 5 or 6. I hope I'm wrong. Hey, we'll see what's up. We'll see what's up.
Time will
We'll see
tell.
what's up. Time will definitely tell. But you know what? Time will not tell. And we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. Time will not tell about who the greatest NBA player of all time is. And his name is LeBron
MJ.
Raymond James. Y'all know what time it is. We here's the crazy part, man. Let me set this up. When we finished our podcast last week, right? Me and Unc actually had an impromptu podcast after the podcast. So we shut it down and we were chatting, just chopping it up, just the homies, right? So we were chopping it up and we eventually got in a LeBron GOAT debate without even planning it. And he stuck to his guns in his position, and I'm sticking to mine. So we will do this in a fair and equitable way, okay? And we will look at not only stats and we'll look at everything, bro. And we gonna let y'all, the audience, decide. Y'all get in the chat, explain who is the GOAT. I'm gonna let the OG go first. Who you got and why?
Can you hear me okay with this mic?
It seems like the mic is off, so yeah, I'm gonna hold it down. I'm gonna hold it down with my arguments. You know what I mean? Let's start off with the fact that LeBron James, people like to take this against him, but I think LeBron is the GOAT because of longe, longevity. Man, I'm saying it wrong.
Longevity.
Longevity. Boom. There you go. Longevity. Why do I say that? People always like to say that maybe that's an argument against LeBron. I think it's an argument for LeBron. LeBron right now is in year 21. He's going to be an NBA, All NBA, probably second or third team. He is at that point a top 15 player in the league right now. And he has been playing at that position for the past 21 season. LeBron is averaging 24 points, I believe 7 boards and 7 rebounds. I'm going to search it up right now. This man at the age of 40, turning 41, is going to be doing things that when MJ was his age, he was losing all the way in Washington and then sipping cigars in between playing basketball games, not giving a F, UCK, but owning a team. Okay, my guy's a billionaire. Actually, I checked the stats right now. He went 24, 7, and 8, leading the Los Angeles Lakers. So the man, I say, long, whatever, you get what I'm saying. The long length of his reign has been way longer than Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Jordan, as great, he tapped out in 13. He was like, I'm out. 13 years, I'm out. My goal, and by the way, he retired 3 times. My guy was like, nah, I'm not quitting. I'm going to keep going. And that's one of the bonuses I have for LeBron. We got multiple points to go. We starting on round one. Unc, let me hear your
Listen,
first argument, maybe. Go ahead.
I know a lot of you Brownites like to use that longevity thing. All right.
Hey.
And you
Mm.
you can debate all you want of, oh, he's been to 10 finals, he's been, 20 year all-star, blah blah blah
Mhm.
blah 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 blah. But when it comes down to the GOAT debate, obviously no one's ever gonna know, right? This is GOAT debates are meant to be entertaining and fun, and everybody has their point of view. So
Yes.
for me, nothing anybody tells me will ever change my mind of MJ being my GOAT. It doesn't. You can
Okay.
give me all the stats, he can break all the records, and he can do all that stuff. It doesn't matter to me, because how he became my GOAT is because I watched him growing up. He made me change my favorite sport from being soccer to basketball. He
Oh.
made the NBA go from 25 countries to over 200 countries. Right? He expanded that. He expanded the recognition of NBA. He expanded, like, look what he did for Nike. Nike's
Oh yeah.
ridiculous
Yeah.
now, right? So the shoe branding, the branding, all that stuff, like, nobody cares about LeBron shoes, right? Everybody talks about MJ's. Even to this day, people talk about MJ's. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. The
the debate
ones.
can go on back and forth, back and forth. You know, some people are gonna throw Kobe in there, Russell, Chamberlain, all that stuff, but you're never gonna know who the actual greatest is, because everybody plays in different eras, obviously. So
Mhm.
I just want to say that first of all.
Okay. Okay.
But like,
Well.
with
Yeah.
James, it just, I don't know. For me, he doesn't have that winning mentality that seems to be, it kind of seems to be lacking in a lot of players nowadays. And I think that's why I like Ant so much, because he has that, let me go out here and like murder you on the court, right? I want to stomp on your face type of thing. So his mentality of
Mhm.
wanting to beat you is for me, that's what, sports is about. It's about winning. You're playing a team sport to win. You're not playing a team sport to show up and have fun. Like, I don't know. That's my real way I look at it when it comes to the GOAT debate. Um, like I said, the stats and all that
Okay.
stuff. Yeah, you can always argue, oh, Jordan went to six finals, never lost, got six MVPs, scoring title 10 years in a row out of the 13 that he played, or 15 that he played. Like, you can throw stats all you want, but for you growing up, LeBron was the main guy. I honestly thought maybe
Of course.
Kobe might have been in there for you, but
I
different things.
was I will say this. I did like Kobe for a certain amount of time. I'm gonna tell you the irony of this debate. I used to actually be not a LeBron guy. I actually did not like LeBron when I was growing up until I believe maybe around 2013, 2015, when he came back to Cleveland. Because me, I'm a Miami Heat guy.
Mhm,
And even when LeBron was in Miami, I still didn't have him as my GOAT. I still didn't believe in him like that.
mhm.
I thought that he was a guy who joined the squad because he was desperate for a ring. Now that is true. He was
Yeah,
desperate for a ring because he was not going to get it in Cleveland because the management would never get him enough players. Disorganization, the coaching was mid to
yeah.
trash. So I didn't become a huge LeBron guy until his first few years in Cleveland, battling Golden State.
Mhm.
And that's when he became the GOAT in my eyes. Another thing why I have LeBron. I was also a big Kobe guy, not as much as a LeBron guy. But I'll say this: it is generational. Let's not pretend like it isn't. There's people. I'm 29, right? About to turn 30 in July in a month, right? People in my age bracket have seen way more LeBron for way longer than they've ever seen MJ.
Mhm.
Even the things you remember the Last Dance when it came out,
Yeah.
there was so much ish I did not know about Jordan at all that I saw in them. I'm like, what? This happened? That happened? What? And I'm gonna give Jordan his respect. I'm not here gonna lie on him. But there's clearly one GOAT, man. His name is LeBron Raymond James. I say this: the skill set, bro. LeBron can play all five positions in his prime when he was destroying Toronto, Indiana, Boston. You could put LeBron at center, power forward. He could even be a point guard in the game. And of course, I think it's slightly unfair because LeBron has played longer. But look at the stats, bro. The total points, the rebounds, the assists, the steals. Like, bruh, it's like keeps on going. I will say this: Jordan has him on the shooting percentages. LeBron has improved his 3-point shooting. You know what I mean? Free throws, not even a game. Jordan, of course. Field goal percentage, come on, man, it's the GOAT. You know what I mean? Points per game, better scorer was Michael Jordan. It's not even play a game. We all know what time it is. Jordan also improved his scoring in the playoffs, averaged 30 points in the playoffs, the only player to do that. Now, we can talk about all of that,
Mm.
but what's the impact? Who had the impact? Let me hear your arguments, brother. What do you have for impact, bro?
So the impact that Jordan had on basketball, like I said, like he made it global. Basketball was never a global sport. It was a North American sport. People in Europe didn't care about it. People in China didn't care
Yeah,
about it. Like
right.
you have people like in these small remote countries that have never heard of basketball now starting to pay attention to it. In
Yes.
Barcelona, when the dream team got together, right? You see
Mm,
those billboards that are like skyscraper high that it's all about Jordan, right? It's
right.
just the global the impact that they had them as a team. Like if you see, there's where was it? I can't remember where I saw it, but John Stockton went. He's
Yeah.
part of the dream team, right? He
Right.
went um he went walking with his wife and kid. Nobody recognized him. Like he went through Barcelona with a handheld
Yeah,
camera and he
you're
walked like
right.
nobody said anything to him, didn't say a peep because nobody knew who he was. But
That's
Jordan
true.
couldn't go from the hotel room to the bus without getting mobbed like he was like Michael Jackson type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like people fainted for Michael Jackson. So that's a whole different story. But like
Mm,
the impact that MJ had in not just basketball and scoring, because like you said, MJ was a scorer first. That's all he ever had to do, right? He didn't have to play all five positions because the sport was different back then. Everybody had their roles. You had your big that was there to get rebounds and block people out. You had your power
right.
forward, which you don't have power forwards now, right?
No, they don't
There's no
exist.
set
No.
positions anymore. So
Yeah.
like that's why everybody says, "Oh, LeBron can play any position," but there isn't really any position. Like
Right.
MJ scored. That's what he was. That's what he did. That's what he was needed for, right? And you got the rest of the team to pick up the slack, like Scotty and like some of these role players that they knew they were role players. They had no admiration to be superstars like nowadays, where oh, pay me a max contract or I'm not going to play for you. Like no, these guys were paying. They were getting paid nothing, nothing. Like it was crazy.
But fam, I have a quick question for you.
Hmm.
Quick question for you. Can you admit that the sport of basketball was rigged to make Jordan greater and achieve more in his respective era? What am I talking about? The triangle offense. Think about that.
How is
David
that rigged?
Stern, huh?
How is that rigged?
They made the offense was just good for MJ, man. For him to get
No,
the most points possible.
that was just a great coach. Look,
Oh, come on.
he took that to LA and did it with Kobe and Shaq.
But do you see what I'm talking about? My point is, it was rigged in a way to highlight Jordan because Jordan was the star of the team. So the triangle offense just for him. There were even reports that Jordan sometimes they would like add more points or rebound, not points, sorry, like more defensive stats and all these things. And obviously he's getting all the calls. Obviously he's getting push offs. You know what I mean? The infamous push off, game 6 in Utah. You know what I mean? All of
Come
them
on,
things, man.
come on. Now that's like me saying nowadays the assists are ridiculous because they count a LeBron assist with LeBron bringing it up the court, throwing an outlet pass, and then the guy dribbling 16 times, faking, and then shooting afterwards. Like when you hold the ball for
Yeah,
more than 3 seconds, that's no longer an assist. Like
that's
nobody
true. Good,
assisted
yeah.
you. You made your own play, but yet they
Yeah.
still give the assist to LeBron. Like that, you know what I mean? Those little things are kind of crazy. But Like impact wise, how has LeBron actually changed the game? Let me ask you that.
I
In
will
what
say
in
this.
what capacity did he change the game? Steph Curry
Oh,
changed it by everybody checking up threes nowadays, but
right, right,
not
right.
everybody Steph Curry, right? They can't make those
That's true.
continuously shots, and then
Right,
that
right.
leads into more rebounds. So, and now that there's no real big men, you get guards that are averaging 12 rebounds a game. When was that
Yes.
ever a stat? In the 90s, that was never a stat when MJ's thing because guards weren't in the paint. You know
Guards
what I
were,
mean?
yeah, they were away from the paint. They were
Yeah,
top of the key, all that
but
type
you're
of
not
thing.
checking up threes that give you those long rebounds in order for those guards now to get them. Before it was layups. Like, look at Jordan's
Mhm.
stats. Most of them are within that mid range, and that's why he was
Oh yeah,
such a
it was a
right.
mid range type of game. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a
Now,
the mid range was critical. The game back in the '90s did not feature threes, long range. No, that was not the style.
mm-mm,
I'll say what LeBron really impacted was the player empowerment era. I
mm-mm,
think that's huge because a lot of players in the 90s, 80s, of course, they were stuck with, being on the same squad and losing forever. And they weren't empowered to actually go and and put their careers in their own hands. I think
yeah,
that's huge for the league. I think LeBron also pushed positionless basketball. You see the things that Jokic is doing right now. You don't think that that came from LeBron be impacting the game? LeBron is the type of player who he can pass better than most point guards. Let's start off with that. LeBron can also rebound amazing. LeBron is a better, is a
6'9",
great all around
280. Of
player.
course, he can rebound.
I'm telling you, he drives better than almost all the players out there.
Oh, stop
He
that.
impacted players being all around players, especially except and not being just one role. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Now I think there's a negative to that, but I look at it in a positive way. And he's also pushed turning it on and playing better in the playoffs. At least for me, I've seen his impact when LeBron. I'm not these recent years. Let's keep it a bean. These recent years, it's been horrible. We'll
So,
keep it real.
so what you're saying ever since he's been on the Lakers these recent years is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yeah. I'm gonna concede that to you. I'm gonna
Yeah,
concede
okay.
that to you.
Okay.
But LeBron went to the finals 10 years in a row, bro. Like that is absolutely nuts. What he was able to do, and he's still doing, obviously not to the same capacity, but come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, dog. That's called the GOAT. At least from my point of view. What are your thoughts, family?
Listen, I'm never gonna say LeBron's overrated. Okay, because
Okay, okay.
that's
I like that.
being untruthful. Let's be honest. Like
There
I'm
you
a
go.
LeBron critic just because for me
Mhm.
his I don't know. It's something about his attitude, and my boy like he just demolishes me over that. He's like, "What do you mean he doesn't like to win?"
Really is
Blah,
out of,
blah.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
like
Yeah.
I don't know. He just doesn't
Ah,
have that win first at all costs type of mentality that I grew up watching.
okay,
Like, come
okay,
on,
okay,
like
okay.
you're telling me that and I'll be honest, when LeBron came into the league, that's when I stopped watching NBA. So I missed those early
What?
years. Yeah,
He
I
turned
missed
you
those
off
early
that
years.
much?
No, it wasn't even
Oh,
that. Like I just
yeah.
stopped watching it for whatever reason. It just happened to be when he was coming into the league. So
Okay,
it was just like a bad time, right? At
okay.
first, when the first couple of years when Kobe was in the league, I didn't like Kobe at all. I'm like, this guy's
Really?
like a ball hog, and he just hasn't done anything, right?
Right.
So I think for me, that's my mentality. Like he has ridiculous stats, these number one in turnovers in NBA history,
Wow.
number one, but like obviously there's good with the bad of being in the league for 22 years. He's gonna
Yeah, of
have
course, of course.
all the accolades and in the individual stats that you can get. Like there's no question about
Right.
that, right? But the thing is, like you talked about player empowerment.
Yeah.
It's with social media nowadays. It twists that around. So instead of being like, you know what, yes, it was a good thing for him to be like, you know what, I'm taking my career in my own hands. No more I'm not letting my agent do
Yeah.
this. I'm not letting my management do that. And that was phenomenal. But they twisted it to make it sound like he was being selfish. He was chasing this. He wanted to do this, but he wasn't like a team player because he'd just leave the team and go to the next one. Not as bad as Durant,
Yeah,
because
that's fair.
Durant was you can't go to the
Durant took
team
it
that
to a
beat
new
you,
level.
right?
Yeah.
So at least LeBron never did that.
He didn't go to
But
Boston.
yeah, but for him to say like in countless interviews that he never had enough help to win, like that's the attitude that gets me mad. Like just
Okay.
I don't know, it just makes it seem like he's like always has excuses. Just own up to it, And when the Boston Celtics got blown out that game, Tatum's like, I
Yeah.
need to play better. Like if I'm the leader, I need to play better. So he owned it, as where I've never seen LeBron own any of his failures, but he will completely own any of the success that he has. And that's my biggest thing with him is like you can't deny he's a phenomenal generational player. Like
Yeah.
there's no denying that. It's just attitude wise is a big character wise is a big thing for me. So
Okay. So let me get this right. Let me get this straight. I just want to clarify for the record. Y'all get in the chat. We having a LeBron Michael Jordan debate. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. You are in the majority right now. Meaning, in other words, most people at this point in time, 2025, May 18th, are on your side.
mhm.
They consider Jordan the greatest ever to play the game.
Like yeah, I can't hear you. Your mic might not too.
Is it back? Can you hear
There
me?
you go. There you go. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So right now you're in the majority, and I want to hear what the chat has to say. You're in the majority. Most people at this point in time think that Jordan is the GOAT. Jordan successfully played people into making them think he's the GOAT. You don't think that Jordan had attitude issues, bro? Jordan was punching teammates in the face, man. Punching teammates in the face. Come on, bro. Steve Kerr has the thing to say about that.
Oh,
Jordan
100%.
is disrespectful to a lot of his teammates, man. Don't forget that Michael Jordan currently has beef with Scottie Pippen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is the guy who's literally the reason that he has able to hoist up 6 championships, and even Jordan released, he's beefing with his boy. So as great as Jordan is and was, I think, and this is not even really a hot take, I just think a lot of his history has been sanitized, bro. There's been a lot of rumors on his first retirement. I think you might know about those.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know,
Yep. Yep.
that he had some kind of gambling debts with mafiosos, and allegedly they came to collect with his pops. Allegedly, we don't have proof of this, but where there's smoke, there's a lot of fire. This man was a super gambler. He's competitive, but to what point, man? To the point
He still
of
gambles.
alienate. Like, bro, yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, yeah. Doesn't he still
Like
gamble? I'm
he
like,
has
bro,
he
what?
has his own golf course where
Right.
you have to be invited to, and then
Okay,
once you get there, then you got to bet on the games. Like
bro.
that's how he is. Like it's ridiculous. And 100%, right? Like during practice, everybody said he was a tyrant, la da da.
Right.
But you know what? The teams won. The teams
Mm,
they were the team to beat. So
yes,
if like that attitude might come in, but if they were losing, it'd be a different story. But
that's
he
fair.
he forced his team to win, and when he retired, you can see that because the Bulls only lost 2 games more than they did the year before, with him being gone. So the
Right.
team didn't suffer from him leaving. So for me, that's making your team great. That's improving the players that you have to a
Hmm.
level that okay, when you when you were gone, they're still performing, right?
Right.
Scotty did lead the entire team in every single stat, minutes
Right.
played, points, steals, assists, blah blah, like because that's the type of player Scotty became. But would he have become that player without the attitude from Jordan, without getting pushed from Jordan? I don't think so. If he would have ended up in Portland, there's no way Scotty would have been Scotty. And
No,
like,
that's a fact. I do agree with that. There was actually a point in the last dance where I think the coach ran a play for coach
yeah,
over
Scotty shut his
Scotty
ass down. Yeah,
because Scotty was a bit passive,
yeah,
especially in late clutch situations. Yeah, it's clear. Obviously, like of course, when I talk about Pippen and Jordan, it's halfway trolling, because apparently he dated his son, bro. Like what? You know what I
his
mean?
his ex
Jordan's
his
son,
ex is dating Jordan's son, which is
which is nasty
yeah,
work, bro. That's definition of nasty work. But
right.
anyways, bro. But obviously, the career of Pippen would not be the same without Jordan.
Mhm.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah,
That's clear. You know, same thing with LeBron. I don't think LeBron gets the rings he has without Dwayne Wade. I don't think the LeBron gets the ring he had with Cleveland without Kyrie. The thing here's my one of the arguments that I want to just really make clear. The LeBron and Jordan GOAT debate is more about eras than anything else. And I'll say this again. This is why you're the uncle and I'm the nephew, man. We different eras, bro. We
yeah,
different eras. And get this the beauty of it. We can still disagree respectfully and get our points across because we saw basketball at different times,
hmm
right? So my basketball knowledge is obviously way less than you because you have been seeing it for way longer than I even been alive. Let's start off with that. You know what I mean? So
I'm
it's a
not that old. I'm
different.
not that old. Come on now.
I don't know, bro. I don't know what a gray's at. What a gray's at. No grays. Okay, I respect it. You have
One or
hair
two, one or
too. You
two.
have it. That's better than a lot of guys. What I mean? You're doing better than a lot of guys. I might be thin in somewhere here, but anyways, the fact remains that it's about eras, bro.
Mhm.
And for me, I'm gonna say the eras that LeBron had to play in because he's 21 years old in the league. He had to deal with the Pistons. He had to deal with the Spurs, Duncan Spurs. He had to deal with the Boston Celtics at their prime. He had to deal with new era Chicago Bulls with Derrick Rose. He had to deal with the Indiana Pacers with Paul George. He had to deal with the Kobe Lakers. He had to deal with the Warriors, obviously. Now he's going against Denver, Jokic, and obviously we already know Denver is getting the best of him. It is what it is. But what he has to go through, the levels he had to go through, like I respect Jordan. Jordan played mostly in the 90s, right? I bit in the 80s.
Yeah,
But Jordan, he was getting his ass spanked by the Celtics. He was getting his ass spanked by the Pistons. He was getting his ass spanked by the Lakers. And obviously when the 90s came, he started spanking everybody. But you know what I mean? It's like the journey, I believe,
hmm
for LeBron, my bad, has been so hard and so, tough that I give him even more credit. What's your argument? What's your point of view when you talk about eras? Which was the tougher era and why?
Okay, so let me say
Right.
LeBron hasn't changed in the 2021-22 seasons that he's played. He came into the league as a phenomenal
Mm,
player. 18
right.
years old, 18-year-old kid out of high school, like nobody else, Kobe, KG, Tracy McGrady, none of these guys that came into the league from high school, Jermaine O'Neal from the Pacers, none of
Yep.
those guys played the way LeBron played straight out of high school. It was ridiculous. Kid was averaging 20 plus points as an
Right.
18-year-old rookie. Like that's
It's
crazy,
crazy.
right? So
Right.
for me, I don't think it was like he hasn't evolved in the way he plays the game. Like, yes, the longevity is there. He's played at a high level his entire career. I'll give you that. But I just haven't seen him evolve to be, I don't want to say an elite superstar, because he is, right? Generational player. You don't get a lot of those generational players, but like you said, Jordan was getting his ass whipped from 86 to 91. Like,
Right,
he
right.
was,
He had a tough.
because he was selfish. He didn't know how to lead
I
a
equate
team,
it to like this. It was
right?
like in
He was selfish. He thought about himself. He was scoring 60 plus points in the playoffs against Boston and still losing, right? But it wasn't until Phil Jackson came in and changed his mentality. So for
Right.
me, I think, and I've said this before in some of my chats with some guys, what LeBron was missing was a real coach. Like, if he would have went to college for 1 or 2 years and got that system down of what it is to play like basketball defensively, you know what I mean, and have that knowledge coming out of college,
Right.
I think easily he would without a doubt be the GOAT if he had that experience. But the fact that he didn't, like, MJ went to North Carolina as a freshman, took the shot of the century, right, and he won a championship. But
That was a
granted,
clutch
James
shot.
Worthy, James Worthy was on that team. Kenny Smith, I think, was on that team. Right, so he played with phenomenal players at a level that was like, it was more of a learning experience, right?
Right.
It was a learning experience. It taught him different things, different aspects of the game that he may not have known coming out of high school. So I think by LeBron going straight from high school to the NBA, that gap actually hurt his legacy, because he didn't develop certain mentality skills, I guess, if that's the right word to use. But like, so I think
Okay.
that's where when Phil came in as head coach, because he was assistant coach in the 80s, I think 80s or so, a couple years before he actually became head coach.
Right.
So that aspect of it, like, Jordan changed, and it was because he was able to learn from a coach who was able to teach him. Where LeBron, how many coaches has LeBron had?
He's had a lot.
I mean, they seem to be interchangeable for him. He doesn't get along with a coach. Okay, I'm out, or he's out. One of the two. He's never had that.
Right.
I guess it's maybe like a mentor, because he's always been put at the top of the list. Like, the man has the chosen one tattooed on his back. If
Whoa,
you're the
whoa, whoa, whoa,
chosen
whoa!
one,
Let me stop you right quick. Sports Illustrated called him the chosen one. Let
okay,
me pull it up. They said chosen one. Sports Illustrated put that moniker on him. And this is my argument, bro. I think the media has actually been bad for LeBron and put too much pressure on him, so much so to the point that he has to almost prove himself too much. Y'all get in the chat. Let me know. I think I'm cooking with fish grease, but Unc, yes, it is right. He did get a chosen one tattoo on his back, but Sports Illustrated called him that.
see,
Anyways, go
now
ahead.
you're doing what LeBronites do, and they just make excuses for him. Okay,
Wow.
you can be called everything, but when you start calling yourself, you start believing that hype. That's where things change, right? Every single time they've asked Jordan about if he thinks he's the GOAT. He's like, no, because it's disrespectful to everybody else that's played before him or with him. Not, you know what I mean? Like, as where LeBron's called himself the GOAT multiple times, even when he's lost. He's like, oh no, I'm the GOAT. Bro, you didn't win. You didn't win.
But when you can't state facts. Since when are we not stating facts, bro?
What are you talking
I
about?
think you're allowed to state facts. When you come back from 3-1 in the finals, when you are the biggest scorer of all time, when you have spent 21 seasons being the top or at the top of your game, when you are doing this to grown men, come on, man. Come on. People get in the chat. Is LeBron the GOAT? Or is it Michael Jeffrey Jordan? Let us know. We're gonna go on our final arguments, man. I'm gonna let you say your final points, bro. And we're gonna watch some more LeBron highlights. I guess I might put on some Jordan ones after. I guess I might have to,
You
right?
don't need to because I think Jordan's highlights have been viewed a lot more than LeBron. So we got to give
Wow.
LeBron some likes here,
Nasty
some
work.
view time.
Nasty work. Go ahead.
No, but like we said, it's generational is a big part of it. So,
Yeah.
like I said, like for me, it's always gonna be MJ, no matter what you say. Even if um
Okay, let
Bryce
me run a
came.
scenario by you. Let me
Yeah.
run a scenario by you. Let's say LeBron goes to Cleveland or New York, like I said a few podcasts ago, right? A few streams ago, and wins somehow two more championships. 6-6. I know your
This,
eyes are going
this
wide.
guy is
I
dreaming.
know, I know. Okay. F that. Let me not even go there. Let's say he wins one more and then retires on the spot. Hey, championships. Okay. Would that change your opinion?
It depends on how he does it.
Okay. Okay.
Like,
At least you're open minded. I like that.
you know what I
Go
mean?
ahead.
Like, it's if he goes in and then all of a sudden five different players that are like at the top of their game go to Cleveland too, and then they win. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, like you can't expect that of LeBron at this age. Like the fact
Yeah,
that he's
for
given
sure.
you 20 plus points, like it's ridiculous what he's still capable of doing. I'm not taking that
Right.
away from him. I'm not taking the fact that the man has done ridiculous stuff and his stats and all
Right.
that stuff are phenomenal. But like I said, it's just growing up watching MJ play, it was just different. There was like an aura about him, and even NBA players will tell you this. Like it was just seeing him what how he can dominate you. They tell stories of him going to play. What 48 rounds of golf, and then
Yeah.
drinking, and then going to the game without sleeping. Like
Yeah, it
stuff
was
like that
crazy.
just obviously just elevates the rumors and aura and all that stuff. But for
Yeah.
me, like how he played it every single night, never giving, never letting up. Like
No
every night he
excuses.
played
Yeah.
was full throttle, and I think that's why I liked AI. That's why I liked Russ, and that's why I
Right.
like Ant. Like Ant sometimes can take the day off here and there. It's a kind of frustrating, but like those guys gave it their all every single game, and I
Yes.
just sometimes I feel like LeBron doesn't give his all every single game. So that's
Yeah.
really when you come down to the nitty gritty. That's the biggest difference for me. Is their style of
Mm,
play is like LeBron. If you want to say LeBron's a better overall player,
yeah.
I can see that because
More skill sets.
Jordan wasn't he didn't need to pass. He didn't need to do other things that LeBron was needed to do because he was physically gifted. Like MJ was 6'6", right? And he when he got
Yeah.
into the league, he was probably like 170 pounds.
It
As
was
LeBron's
bones. Yeah.
always been a beast. Like LeBron's a beast, so he's built different, obviously.
Yeah.
But if like people say, "Oh, LeBron couldn't play in the '90s," blah blah, because he
Of
flops a lot,
course you could. Come
right?
on.
Like I know,
Come
like everybody razzes him about flopping, which he does, but he didn't do that when he first entered the league. It's only in his later years I find that it's really bad, right? In the first
on.
couple of years
Yeah.
in Cleveland, like I've gone back and I watched some tape and stuff like that, but he was excited, like he was an exciting player, and I genuinely wished I would have continued to watch the NBA while he came in because
Yeah.
I would have a different mentality towards him. But again, for me, you'll never, no matter what he does, you'll never change my mind that MJ's a goat.
I will say this: LeBron in his early career, you're right. He was not flopping as much, and he was a more physical player because the league itself
He
was.
was different, yeah.
Yeah, the league at that point. You know how like this playoffs, what Adam Silver did, he decided to make the game. And I think he did this on purpose. Adam Silver decided to make the game physical, because he realized that people like us who love basketball were not liking it, right?
Mhm.
So I think this is my conspiracy theory brain. He told the refs, let them play. In other words, he told them, you better hold that whistle. We want physical games of basketball.
Yeah.
Why SGA low key has not been going off for 40, 50 points because they're not giving him the same whistle they gave him in the season. That's a
Yeah.
fact. That's why Jokic was having a bit of a rough time because they're not giving Jokic as many calls. And you even saw Jokic was frustrated throughout a lot of games. You see that this this playoff specifically, they want teams that are physical. Minnesota's in the conference finals. The Knicks, they took great advantage of physical play. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's giving early 2000s, 90s basketball feel. And yes, early LeBron was not flopping. Early LeBron was not really a shooter. He was more like a slasher. He was not as much of a finesse player. But I believe that that's a valid critique, yeah, for LeBron and his attitude and his personality. It's not like Jordan, and guess what? Very few people have the attitude of Jordan. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's just
100%.
human beings. It's like that's something that LeBron will never train for or ever
Yeah.
become. It is what it is.
But at the same time, he doesn't
Mhm.
have to, right? Like
Right. He
these
doesn't
guys
have to either. Yeah.
now, like
Yeah.
Ben Simmons is a perfect example. This guy got a ridiculous contract without playing a game, and then look at him.
Yes.
He was a complete bust.
Super
Bust.
bust. And he's physically gifted. He's super gifted physically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this
Complete bust.
is
Yeah.
crazy, but it's just like back then, like yeah, Jordan made more, it has made more in shoe sales than he did his whole career playing basketball.
Oh
Like
yeah, he's way richer
outwards.
off the kicks. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right.
He's huge off the kicks.
So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
same thing with LeBron with social media. This guy can do commercials. He can do everything because that's what's drawing to the NBA. Now
yeah.
that's I think that's in the last couple of years it's backfired because their ratings are down and all that stuff. But I think also it's because they're I don't want to say soft because basketball is basketball, regardless of how soft you are, it's still a physical game and
It
it's
is. Yeah,
grueling, right? But like it got to a certain point where all you saw was refs. You see the refs whistling, calling foul. Like
oh yeah,
nobody wants to
oh
see that.
yeah,
They want to see these guys play. That's why they're
yeah,
paying $1,000 a ticket. They're not paying to see the refs blow whistles and stuff like that. So I'm glad that if that's the way Silva's looking at the game now, you know what? Let's get back to some more physicality. I think you'll
yes.
find that the games are more exciting because
The
it's
games are more exciting without even hesitation, bro.
yeah.
Like we were even talking about it last week. Like we loved the games last
Mhm.
week, bro. Like they were going down to the wire. You could tell the refs were not really. They were just letting them play ball, bro.
Yeah.
They were like, you can travel, you can just go get in somebody's neck, you can stab a mother effer, you can like choke a guy. It's fine. Just get the basket. You know what I mean? It
Exactly.
was free flowing in a
Yeah.
sense. I will say this, something that I do admire about Jordan is that Jordan gave it 110% every time he was on the floor,
Mhm.
right? And that's something that unfortunately I've seen LeBron do sometimes where he doesn't give it 100%, especially since he's older now. You'll
Yeah.
see him take pauses on defense. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
get it, you're old, but then just go to the bench, bro. Go to the
Yeah.
bench. But him benching himself, I think in the big picture it's good, but I don't think he's not doing that, right? It is what it
Mhm.
is. My thing is, again, the reason I have LeBron as the GOAT is not only for skills, but for everything he's been able to accomplish over a 21-year career. And it's not over yet. I think he's probably going to retire in 2 years, maybe three. I think he wants to play with Bryce.
Yeah.
But I just think that LeBron has done so much, throughout all his eras, throughout so much time, throughout all the competition. He's playing Indiana in this video, bro. You remember when Indiana had Oladipo and all these things? Like, he was playing guys who he's reached to the point, LeBron, where he's playing the sons of some of his
Yeah.
opponents.
Which
In
is
other
crazy.
words, You know what I mean? Like, let's say he played somebody in the early 2000s. Now he's playing against their son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or with their son. So that's why I'm saying LeBron is my personal GOAT. But like you said, bro, this is a argument really about eras and who your personal favorites are. I believe another thing that we don't really acknowledge is, like you just said a second ago, the shoe game. I love Jordan 4s, bro. I love them. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
love 11s. You know what I mean? Air Force One's classic. You dig?
Yeah.
So I believe that added to Jordan's legacy, the shoe game. You know, Nike making that a brand.
Yeah.
These things might not matter like about on the court, but off the court and making your aura, your energy, your legacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's something you got to factor in, man. Any last words before we finish this off, man?
I'm just saying Jordan 11s are probably the best shoe ever made. Just letting you
They're
know.
beautiful, bro. Yes, yes.
Yo, I still have
So damn
my
good.
my Concords from 2002.
Ooh,
And
fire.
oh yeah, you see the white
Yeah,
ones?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
still have
These
a
ones.
pair of those. I have those ones, the Concords, the black and
Ooh,
the classic ones, and I have those from 2002.
ooh.
Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice.
And then the
Yeah, man.
wifey bought me the anniversary pair of Jordan 11s. So they have like
Mhm.
the gold writing with the gold logo.
Oh
Beautiful,
shit.
beautiful, beautiful. So, so
Hey, that's what's up, bro. You know what I mean? The GOAT debate, we're gonna have this till the end of time.
yeah, hundred
We
percent.
basketball fans, bro. That's what we do here. I appreciate y'all for coming into the stream, my people. Like the stream on y'all way out. Shout out to Sleepy Euphoria. Shout out everybody who came in and had this discussion and vibe with me, man.
Mhm.
Man, I think that was a great podcast. I liked it. I like that stream, bro. Appreciate y'all for tuning in with us, man. It's been the big podcast. Unc and Nephew, we talking hoops. Amen. Let's
Okay.
have a great week of basketball, brother. We'll
Yes,
tap
sir.
in next week,
It's
bro.
conference finals. Conference finals.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Ah. We out.
All right. Peace.
Peace.